Hey, and welcome back to the channel. Trust you're doing great. Today we are checking out a video on why Germans are so aggressive. Are Germans aggressive? I would want to know because this is the first time I'm hearing Germans are aggressive. So let's dive right into it.
We are German, and as such, we are always self-conscious about getting angry in public. Our language is quite the troll.
I can do an evil old Hausfrau. Ess dein Schnitzel, sonst kriegst du keinen Nachtisch.
Deutschland ist ein Land ut Stodluten.
Ja, lass die Hände hoch. Niemand wegen
Germany is the country of proud people.
Kein Humor hat, ha?
German sounds harsh and aggressive.
Guten Tag! Ich will ein klein Brotchen haben, bitte schön! Das schwarze Brotchen mit dem Käse und das Schinken, bitte schön!
It's a disgusting language. Nobody should ever speak it. It sounds like typewriters eating tinfoil being kicked down a
How
stairs.
can you call someone's language?
Somebody is talking to you in German, they're saying, and you think, what is happening to you from behind? How can we make it stop?
Someone, somewhere, is always making fun of our language. But why does German sound so aggressive to the rest of the world?
Let's find out.
The German language is part of the Germanic branch of the Indo-Germanic language family. Besides German, Dutch and English are also Germanic languages. But while English sounds gentle to many people, German is often described as spat, barked, ugly, dry, cold, harsh, yapping, and military. German is rarely perceived as beautiful. There are several reasons for this.
Okay.
1. Linguistic characteristics.
Linguistic characteristics.
German has a lot of gutturals and glottal stops. They can make the language sound harsh. Let's start with guttural sounds. German has the special ach sound, which sounds very throaty. It can be heard in the German words fauchen, which means to hiss, or krach, which means noise. These words are often difficult for non-German speakers to pronounce because these sounds don't exist in widespread languages like English. Next, glottal stops. Germans pronounce vowels very strongly, especially when they appear at the beginning of a word. This causes the vocal cords to open suddenly and all the air that has built up to escape at once. Take the word apple. The German word is Apfel. You can hear it quite well throughout this example. Ich esse oft Äpfel und anderes Obst. In many other languages, the words of a sentence are spoken in a flow. In German, sometimes there's a mini pause before each individual word. Here you can hear the difference. Everything is alright. Alles ist in Ordnung. Of course, I'm overdoing it a bit here, but you get the idea. These breaks can make German sound a bit barked. Some sounds exist in almost all languages, such as M and B. Others are quite unique and only appear in a few languages. In English, there's the digraph th, for example in thanks. Germans, including me, often struggle to pronounce that. Italian, which is often considered to be a beautiful, melodious language, uses mainly vowels and only a few exotic sounds. German, on the other hand, has many rare, complex sounds, which might come off as strange. We use so-called Umlaute, such as Ä, Ö, and Ü. Again, often hard to pronounce for non-German speakers. And there's the SZ. It looks like this and is essential for our all-time favorite word, Scheiße. The SZ is used to indicate the hard S sound. Plus, many German words just have a lot of consonants. For example, Strumpf, or a classic selbstverständlich, which means of course. German is complicated, and as humans we often shy away from complexity. But isn't the real challenge to transform complexity into something enjoyable and intriguing?
2. Infinite words.
Infinite words.
This is a not made up, absolutely real German word with 79 letters. Rinderkennzeichnungs-Fleischetikettierungs-Überwachungsaufgaben-Übertragungsgesetz.
And you pronounce this at once? 79 letters?
Here. What we're trying to tell you is this. German has a high number of compound words.
Wow.
These can be really cool because the word often literally describes what it means. For example, you have a house and a Tier, an animal, and together it is a Haustier, a pet. though as a people, we seem to have made it our goal to put together as many words as possible. This
These are
has led
extreme
to
long
many
words.
long and insanely complex creations. Mark Twain already made fun of this word and many others in 1880 in his famous essay, The Awful German Language. He writes, "These things are not words, they are alphabetical processions, and the inventor of them ought to have been killed."
Wow.
And because the words are weird, a lot of non-German speakers find them very entertaining. They have something weirdly over-precise and orderly about them. Combined with their guttural and glottal stop consonant-loaded delivery, it can give them a military touch. Ironically, we have a word for this: Konsonantenschlacht. Every German-speaking actor or model has to do the German word quiz on an American talk show at least once.
Bezirksschornsteinfegermeister. Schmetterlingsbeinschlag.
Backpfeifengesicht.
Albeit this last one being an absolute banger of a word, meaning a face that's just inviting a good slap like Jimmy Fallon's, these shows only strengthen the image of the difficult and weird German language. And this leads us to
Prejudices.
3. Prejudices.
What do people think of when they think of Germany?
And they're saying to you something like, we have been better, but we're very vibrant in the theater and arts and so on. All the time you listen to this, you're thinking, Hitler.
During the two world wars, the German naturally became the enemy in many countries. German-American relations changed drastically. In the US, the teaching of German was banned. German programs were no longer allowed to be played on the radio. Authorities called for a boycott of German goods. Streets and even sauerkraut were renamed. Hitler is possibly history's most terrifying figure. Germany's history, once so gruesome, it is rightly so echoed, processed and analyzed countless times in all forms of media, so it may never be forgotten. According to many linguists, the perception of the German language is in part the result of these historical and socio-cultural contexts. German might have an image problem. Linguists would point out that you shouldn't judge a language based on its sound. What sounds strange to one person is beautiful to another. And if you label a language as ugly, you might miss out on fascinating insights into other worlds of thought and sound. So lastly, let us introduce you to some beautiful German words you can pretentiously incorporate into your Sprachgebrauch. Fernweh describes the opposite of homesickness, the longing for distant places. Weltschmerz is a feeling of knowing that the world will always fail to meet your expectations because of the prevalence of pain existing throughout it. And lastly, Treppenwitz, a joke or thought that you think of too late, just as you walked out the door, already on the stairs. Like, I'm sure there's a nice way to finish the video here, but I guess it just won't come to me until we hit publish.
Wow. This is a good platform for learning. My goodness. Wow. I actually agree to the fact that Germany might have an image problem. Yes, based on the fact of what happened in the Second World War with Adolf Hitler and all of that. I hope to learn the language someday, even if it sounds complicated and the wordings are quite enormous and long. I would love to learn Dutch. Thank you so much for doing this with me. I hope you learned one or two things from it because it's a very educative video, to say the truth. Thank you. Like, comment, and share. And I see you right in my next video. Bye.